I've read the op-ed piece, as have a lot of you, and there have been an awful lot of people with an awful lot to say. And I just want to put my 2 cents in about this, that one of the hugest things being discussed in the op-ed piece is the fact that at this moment in time, there's no one on the board of directors for Autism Speaks who identifies themselves as being on the autism spectrum. And Mr. Silberman takes exception to that, as do a lot of people in the autism community. I think that that's an important discussion to have. I would say that they are certainly not the only organization of their kind that doesn't have a board member that identifies themselves with part of what the discussion is. But here's the thing for me. We say so often and we hear so often that I love the phrase, nothing about us without us. And that is something that is very near and dear to my heart. But as we mentioned, this idea of perspective taking earlier, let's all take a step back and say, let's all take a little perspectives taking and say, what is the us in the sentence? And I have so many friends who are adults, who are on the autism spectrum, who I respect so much, who say, well, the us is individuals who are diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. And some of them disagree about whether it should be called a disorder or not. That is the current term, that is how it is identified and diagnosed. I am longing for a day in which it's not called a disorder, but for now, these are the words that we have been given. We can choose to use them or not. And my friends who are on that spectrum say the us is individuals with that diagnosis. When I talk to my friends who are parents, they very clearly say the us is all of us who are in the autism community, because I know I feel as a parent, I am part of the autism community through and through. It is how I feel. I understand that it is not everybody's perspective, but that is my perspective. And I think it's really important. I used to teach college theater, and I used to teach how to do a review for a play. And first rule of doing a review for the play is you must review the play that you saw, not the one you wanted to see. So if somebody goes to see a musical and they say, I wish this had been Shakespeare, well, that's nice, but it's a musical and it's not Shakespeare. And when you waste your time judging something by something you wish it was, not what it is, that's exactly what it is, a waste of time. And so there are organizations that are run specifically by individuals who are on the autism spectrum. And I don't go to those and say, where is a parent on your board? Why isn't there a parent on your board? That's not what their organization is about. And while I agree that I think that Autism Speaks will only be stronger if they have a board member, I think it's very easy to sit back and say, I don't like what that organization does. Well, if you don't, then that is not the organization for you to support. And I ask you, what organization have you started? I publicly want to say to Bob and Suzanne Wright, you've done something really good. And further, I want to say that you've done something really good, and we can tell you've done something really good because not everybody agrees, right? So you must have done something really good. You're furthering the conversation. They put themselves out there in a way that I certainly haven't. I haven't created an organization that has given millions of dollars to research. But if I did, I would want for a group of people to decide with me about what to give that research to. And if it's not what you want to see the research to go to, then I encourage you to go start an organization that does. We need you to do that. We need more people to do that. But in the meantime, as a group of people, if we can stop dogpiling on each other and saying, I don't like what you're doing, and step back and look at what we're doing, I think that that's really important. And to Mr. Silberman, who one of the sentences that he wrote was, referring to Autism Speaks, imagine a world in which the leadership of the NAACP was all white. Now consider that not a single autistic person serves on the board of Autism Speaks. This absence makes itself felt. I want to say to you that, I love analogies, but this one is flawed because I don't know a single other issue that would get this kind of criticism. I have never heard of anybody walking into a hospital that has a support group for family members that are dealing with cancer, that their family member has cancer and they're meeting to do a support group about what can we do, how can we help cancer research, how can we make our lives better. I have never heard of somebody coming in and going, I'm sorry, you people cannot be meeting in here unless there is someone with cancer in this room. That would be preposterous, right? So this analogy, not working for me, not working at all. If you don't like what Autism Speaks is doing, start your own organization. It's so easy to sit and complain. It's so easy to judge and say, that's not how I would have done it. Then be the change you want to see. Start your organization. I'll give you some time here on the show if you want to start your own charity that does the things that you think are important. I challenge you to do that. Take all that energy, all that anger about what they're not doing that you want, and channel it someplace positive. We all can make a difference, and Autism Speaks, whether you like it or not, has made a tremendous difference. Let's stop trying to tell them what we want, go do it. That's what I think.